All right, welcome to the first semi-final match. This is for spot number 1 in the final battle. This is the Austria-Hungarian ship Von Beust taking on the Russian battleship Admiral Nakhimov. I will be controlling the Von Beust as it is the lower seed. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's just see how they got to this point. The Admiral Nakhimov did not have a play-in round and defeated the HMS Butterworth to get to this point. The Von Beust had a tougher route. Storms when facing the Chinese battleship the Zhongchang. Another heavy storm when facing the German battleship Hans Gruber. Let us hope that there is no storms today and that the Von Beust does not have to fight through the weather. So we are going to get into it right here. Austria-Hungary and the Soviet Union. We're going to select our ships and we are going to get going in semifinal round number 1. We have this challenger. This is the Von Beust. She is 80,652 tons, 24 knots fast, with 3 dual-barrel 18-inch guns, 4 dual-barrel 8-inch guns, and 2 dual-barrel 4-inch guns. She will be facing off against the Russian battleship of my design, the Admiral Nakhimov. And it is this ship right here. We are 100,769 tons, or 26 knots fast. We have 3 triple barrel 16.9, basically 17-inch guns. We have 6 dual barrel 6.9 inch, basically 7-inch guns. And we have 20 dual barrel 4.9 or 5-inch guns with 4 deck torpedo tubes. So we are going to get going in this fight here. We will see who moves on to the finale. Final fight. So both ships have been selected correctly. And we're gonna get right into this battle now. So, Austria-Hungary, Soviet Union, a fight in the final. Here we go. And it's not storms this time for the Von Beust. No, it is not. It is indeed, is it sunrise? Or is it is morning? So it's sunrise on this glorious day of battle. So if you look there at the Von Beust, slowly aiming her turrets, but fire already coming from the Russian battleship almost hits the bow of the Von Beust. So the Admiral Nakhimov trying to deal and draw first blood here. But we will see what happens. The shells are coming in, and it is first hit for the Admiral Nakhimov. However, no damage done for them. The Admiral Nakhimov is able to fire the 7-inch guns for some reason, but the Von Beust is not able to fire the 8-inch guns. Again, hits, but no damage done for either ship. Maximum armor on the Admiral Nakhimov is 18-inch, and the maximum armor on the Von Beust is 16 inches of armor. So we will see who can draw the first blood. We have first hit. Who can draw the first blood in this battle of Goliaths? The Admiral Nakhimov struggled a little bit against the Butterworth when she fought the UK, but managed to get out of that firefight. Von Beust has destroyed the Chinese battleship pretty okay, and the Hans Gruber gave Von Beust pretty much of a fight because the Hans Gruber would not die. So, again, Von Beust is facing another heavily armored warship, similar to Hans Gruber, but the weather is different, so will the performance be different for Von Beust? Is it going to be another good day in the office, or is it finally going to be the end of Austria-Hungary? So we're dealing out the guns right now. We're going to be firing AP, and they are firing AP as well. So AP is not doing much damage. against this kind of armor. Yeah, APs are not hitting much, so let's try the HE shells, and let's just see how they handle. The enemy ship is 19 kilometers out, so let's start turning in towards her. Turning, of course, could reveal our hull a little bit to the ocean, to the gun onslaught, but with the 18-inchers, it should be fine. With the armor, it should be okay if they have not been penetrating us so far. The HE shell's about to rain down, and it is still not first blood. So both ships have yet to take any damage. So the shells keep bouncing off of the hulls and the decks. So, pretty good fight already here. Oh, that one looks like it might have ignited, but it did not. It bounced off. So you see the 18-inch guns roar back to life, firing HE shells. We're going to go back to the auto armament, and that'll be AP again. So we'll see if turning and closing a bit of the distance has improved our situation. Indeed, we are getting farther away. So the Admiral Nakhimov definitely running away, trying to get distance to the Von Beust, which is, you know what, a fair enough tactic. And there's the first hit on the Admiral Nakhimov. 98% structural integrity hit on the bow. So we have the first bit of damage. So, yes, main belt partial pen hits on the Admiral Nakhimov is what it is, and what it has come down to. So we're turning around here. We turn the ship towards the Admiral Nakhimov. Usually you want to keep as many guns firing on the target as you can, but our guns are not really... That was the first two hits, and it was pretty minimal damage, and I think our deck, the plunging fire, should do what we require of that damage portion of it. How far away is she? 21.4 kilometers. She's going 21.5 knots. We are going 20.8. So let's try to 20.9. So we're going 21 knots. So she's going a bit quicker, but we are getting closer bit by bit. 97% structural integrity for the Admiral Nakhimov and 100% for the Von Beust. And we take the first hit on the Von Beust for and main belt partial penetration with a opening fire. So now both ships have drawn blood. We have lost 14 crew, while the Admiral Nakhimov is suffering a couple more losses than that as it gets hit in the aft belt. 96 is the structural integrity, and the Von Beust still on fire. It's now 99, and it's these front compartments here that are taking the brunt of it, and it's going to be the bow that's going to take the front brunt of it if we are pointing towards them, and the Admiral Nakhimov, obviously running, is going to take the brunt of it in the rear. As she turns around, she's going to fire. She is turned around, so she's going to try and face all of her guns towards us. So now we're going to turn around ourselves and try and get as many guns as we can to bear, as they have just crossed the T unknowingly. I did not know where they were. But we do have fire coming in from the 18-inch guns, and it's main belt partial penetration on the Admiral Nakhimov. 93% structural integrity as we damage the main gun. And the Von Beust, we're going to try and run straight towards her. Main belt partial pen for 4 ticks of damage. I repeat, 4 ticks of damage. Oh, we take a little bit more damage than that, though, on there for main gun and 4 belts. Partial penetrations. 98% is the structural integrity, with fires erupting on our deck. For the Admiral Nakhimov, it is 93. I have noticed with the Von Beust that we do tend to waste our main armament pretty easily. So we are going to save the main guns unless they can 100% and unless they can hit, I think it's over 90%, over 80%, maybe. If we can guarantee a hit, then they will fire just like that. So they were able to guarantee a hit. We are getting pelted by the little guns. It's 98% is the structural integrity as we take our main tower and bow, taking some massive hits. And on the Admiral Nakhimov, it's 91, and it's the lower stern section taking the hits. So we will see kind of where the as the Admiral Nakhimov gets on fire and more damage, more hits on the Von Beust. Here comes the main armament and major damage on the fore and main belt. 95 is the structural integrity with major bow damage, and we are on fire yet again on the Admiral Nakhimov. It's 91, and on fire, the fire being, I cannot see a fire in any of the compartments, so I don't know how accurate that is, but the Von Beust is definitely on fire, as I can see her in the stern and the bow section on fire. 94 to 91% is the hits there. Admiral Nakhimov firing her HE shells, and we will also fire our HE shells as there's a hit on the Admiral Nakhimov to 86% structural damage as her stern gets hit massively. But we're also taking some hits from, I believe it was the secondary guns. 94 is the structural integrity. These are the secondary guns that are getting pelted at us right now, waiting for the 16.9-inch guns to reload and to fire, which they have indeed fired now. So I see a fire on the Admiral Nakhimov on the stern. She's about 14.7 kilometers out. But the Von Beust is getting pelted by this fire here, and the main armament comes in. 92% is the structural integrity compared to 86 on the Admiral Nakhimov. Major damage to the bow. Here's red in the first 6 compartments. So, see how this. So each ship is getting a bunch of hits on each other. The stern is taking the beating on the Admiral Nakhimov, and the bow is taking the hits. 90% structural integrity, and the bow is taking the hits on the Von Beust. So 90 is the structural integrity on the Von Beust, and 86 is the structural integrity on the Admiral Nakhimov. The Admiral Nakhimov seems to be running just a smidge away, but gets hit right in the center here. 80% is structural integrity on her, and the Von Beust getting pelted a little bit there is at 89% is the structural integrity there. So these little we're firing now the main armament, trying to do something as their main armament comes down and does hit us. 88 is the structural damage. 80 is the structural damage on the Admiral Nakhimov. So Von Beust comes down. Major damage on the Admiral Nakhimov now. 65% is the structural integrity. The Russians are getting absolutely blown out of the water. They're firing HE, which is not doing much against our armor. We can fire HE against their armor. They can't. So the AI, if I were the AI, I'd switch to AP and armor-piercing rounds because it's not doing much against this armor. 64 is the structural integrity of the Admiral Nakhimov, and it is 87 on the Von Beust. But Von Beust is taking major damage here. So, I mean, it is doing something as we have major damage on the Admiral Nakhimov. Again, 58% structural integrity is the structural points on the Admiral Nakhimov with the main guns. It's 85 now on the Von Beust. The bow is not taking as much damage as it was initially. So they are not taking the hits. The 17-inch shells are not taking too much of hits. HE shells are about to run out on the Admiral, on the Von Beust. So we are going to flip now to auto, which they will switch to the armor piercing round. See if that can do something better. We have flooding now in the middle compartment. 56% is the structural integrity. 100% at the moment is the flooding. That number could change, however. 83 and 100 are the numbers on the Von Beust, with a bunch of fires, though, breaking out. It's more damage to the Admiral Nakhimov, which does appear to be flooding. It's 99% is the buoyancy now. So, let's see what happens here. So we fire the AP shells now. Because of the ammo problem, I do have both the secondaries and the main armament put on save the ammo, just because Von Beust in the past two fights have been known to waste the ammunition, so I don't want that to happen. Major damage on the Admiral Nakhimov again. 55 is the structural integrity, 97 is the buoyancy. As you can see, that middle compartment is now flooding. 81% is the structural integrity of the Von Beust with no sinking. But both ships are taking some heavy losses. Von Beust has taken 13.7% of crew losses, and it's almost 20% for the Admiral Nakhimov. The Admiral Nakhimov is at 55 structural and 95 buoyancy, so let's turn back towards her. See what we can do now here, as no one is landing any more hits. But that is okay. There's still a while left in this fight. So, secondary armament does fire. Those minimalistic shots are firing. We do get some damage, and another fire begins in the mid-ship section of the Von Beust. 81% is the structural integrity on the Von Beust. On the Admiral Nakhimov, it's 55 and 92, with that compartment pretty much almost flooded. And it's major damage, a major hit on the Admiral Nakhimov. It's an 18-inch to the aft belt. 52% is the structural integrity, 91 is the buoyancy. The rudder is damaged, and some of the rear compartments are now beginning to flood on the Admiral Nakhimov. So it's 79. 79% is the structural integrity on the Von Beust. She's getting pelted a little bit by the secondary guns of the Admiral Nakhimov, but the main guns, which are supposed to be doing the job, are not doing the job, but they are almost out of HE shells. So that could be a bad thing, and that could go against us now. 87% is the buoyancy on the Admiral Nakhimov. 52% is the structural integrity. The Von Beust, it's 78 and 100. The secondary armament is what's pelting us right now. It is. Both ships are getting their licks in, which is what matters. You want to see some good fights. It's not like I'm going to call one of the other ships out in this tournament, the Spider, out. It's 52 and 86 is the stats on the Admiral Nakhimov, and the Von Beust is 76 and 100. I'm going to call the Spider out earlier in the tournament. Those 9-inch guns were not going to do much. Excuse me as I take a sip. And it's, it kind of showed on the Spider's performance. These two ships are meant to duke it out, and they're meant to fight it out. And it destroyed secondary gun on the Admiral Nakhimov. It's 40% is the structural integrity, 86 is the buoyancy now. On the Von Beust, let's fire the remaining HE shells. We've proven that we can hit with the AP shells. Let's fire the remaining 6 shells on the HE, and just try and get as much structural damage as we can before we get to start flooding the thing apart. So we'll have one more volley of HE shells for the 18-inchers as the secondaries of the Admiral Nakhimov come in before the primary, which just got fired. Our structural integrity is 74 and 100% buoyancy. Theirs is 40 and 86 buoyancy. So let's see after the hits. It's 39, 38, and 38% structural integrity and 86% buoyancy now, with fires raging all over the Admiral Nakhimov. There's fires raging all over the Von Beust, however. 74% structural integrity and 100% buoyancy now. The secondary guns are doing more of the hits, more of the damage, compared to the primary. So the primaries actually do not have any HE shells. Well, the secondaries do not have any HE shells for the 7-inch guns. So they are firing AP. So the HE shells are running out on the Admiral Nakhimov, and it's starting to switch to AP, and I think that's what's doing it. So now we switch to armor-piercing rounds for the main guns because of that fact. There, we do have one of the guns suffering a bit of damage. It's the second turret. It's suffering from a bit of damage. We can see in the far reaches, you can see the fire from the Admiral Nakhimov. 37% structural integrity, 86% buoyancy for them, 73 structural integrity, and 100% buoyancy for us. They are about 13.3 kilometers out. So they have the main guns firing it, and it doesn't do much. It did 20. It did like 50, 80, 60, like that did 70 damage in total. While my average main armament hits are getting like 1,000 per hit. So 18-inchers definitely doing much against the armor of the Admiral Nakhimov, but no hits there, surprisingly. 37 and 86 are the stats on the Admiral Nakhimov. 72 and 100 are the stats on the Von Beust. As the Admiral Nakhimov, they can just get the secondary guns to fire off the rest of those AP shells. Or the rest of those HE shells, they have AP shells that they have, main armament HE shells, or AP shells that they have not flung at the Von Beust yet. That, ladies and gentlemen, might change the game if the AP does some damage like the secondary AP shells are doing. So the 16-inchers are going to fire now. And now they're firing AP. So the main armament has switched over to AP on the Russian battleship. So they will be firing AP shells now, but major damage again on the Admiral Nakhimov. 35 and 86 are the stats, compared to 72 and 100 on the Von Beust. So I'm excited to see kind of the 16.9 guns are now firing AP. They fired another volley of HE that past time. Now they're firing the AP. So what will they do against the armored Von Beust? So it is 35%, 86% stats for the Admiral Nakhimov. 72 and 100 are the stats for the Von Beust as we fire another volley of AP shells from our main guns. Meanwhile, the main guns on the Admiral Nakhimov are still reloading. As we have the shells come down on the Admiral Nakhimov, and it does not get hit. It does not puncture. So, survive for another volley, I guess. And now the 16.9-inch guns have fired. Those AP shells are coming our way now. And they do hit, and it is blocked or ricocheted or just misses. We are losing a bunch of crew, though. 25% losses compared to the Admiral Nakhimov's 26% losses. So the losses are about the same on the crew. The Admiral Nakhimov's just taking a lot more structural damage than we have. So we have fired another round of the AP. They're still reloading their 16.9-inch guns, but here comes the damage. And the AP shells on the 18-inch guns are no longer doing much damage. It's being the same for us, where the Admiral Nakhimov is facing directly in front of us and creating a slim target to try and hit. The secondary guns have ease hitting that, but the main armament does not have much ease in hitting such a slim target. So we have the choice of either turning to give all of our guns to bear and hopefully increase our chances of hit. But if we do that, we could also increase our chances of getting hit substantially. So I think the best course of action, if we want to end this battle, structural integrity is now down to 69% compared to the Admiral Nakhimov's 35%. And it's a major damage. 34 is now the structural integrity. 86 is now the 85 is now the buoyancy. That's going to keep going down. Fires and flooding on the Admiral Nakhimov. What kind of a hit was that? That was an 18-inch shell. I'm going to turn the Von Beust around to get those 18-inch guns firing. I want to get as much shells in the water, much shells in the air as possible to try and take down this 34% structural integrity. So, we're going to slowly turn around here. 16.9s are getting reloaded as we fire the 18-inch shells now. So, let's see here what the damage is now. I believe it was a stern hit that did it for the Von Beust. Von Beust has about 27%. This is the Admiral Nakhimov. Has about 32% is the structural integrity now. 79% is the buoyancy. The flooding has stopped, but there are still fires on the Admiral Nakhimov. Admiral Nakhimov has suffered about 27% of losses. We have suffered 28. So Von Beust has suffered more losses than the Admiral Nakhimov. And Admiral Nakhimov has suffered more damage than Von Beust. Von Beust has at 68% integrity now. More damage, more shots getting exchanged by the secondaries as the main armament is just trying to get some sort of a hit on. That's a torpedo. That's a torpedo that should just sail right past us. So that is a great and amazing sign. That has not done much, but again, we are at 67% structural integrity now, and the Admiral Nakhimov has suffered a massive 18-inch hit. 27% structural integrity and 75% is the buoyancy width, but it's going to keep going down due to the flooding debuff. 26 now is the structural integrity, as the secondary guns are now peppering the Admiral Nakhimov. .66 is the structural integrity. And now we have rudder damage, but the rudder is repaired, and we have flooding now for the first time on the Admiral. On the Von Beust, 99% is the buoyancy, and it's just going to keep going down unless the flooding can stop. We are at 66% structural integrity on the Admiral Nakhimov. It's 25 and 64, as the front five compartments are now flooding, and the rear 3 compartments are flooding as well. Another flooding debuff hit, so it's 24. So all of the compartments are now flooding on the Admiral Nakhimov. 24% is the structure, 58 is the buoyancy. On us, it's a 65% structural integrity and 95% buoyancy. So here we go. This, I believe, will be the final end game. 32% losses on the Admiral Nakhimov. 32% losses on the Von Beust. So the losses are about the same. 23% structural integrity, 49 buoyancy left. Meanwhile, it's 64% structural and 91% buoyancy on the Von Beust. The Admiral Nakhimov needs some sort of a miracle if they want to try and take some major hits and major shots. There's some damage now. More flooding on the Von Beust. 63% is structural integrity. 88% is the buoyancy. On the other side, though, it's 22% structural integrity and 41% buoyancy. Now it ticks over to 40. 39. The Admiral Nakhimov is racing against the flooding, trying to get as many hits out as they can. And I think that is what's going to sink the Admiral Nakhimov. The buoyancy was, as soon as all of those bottom compartments start to flood, that's pretty much it for your ship. 35% is the buoyancy now. Compared to us, it is 63% structural integrity and 84% buoyancy. If you look at the Admiral Nakhimov, 21% structural integrity and 31% buoyancy. So that is definitely not good. As we see a torpedo over here get fired. Oh, there's a torpedo right there. Wait a minute. Oh, and it's a dud. It is a dud. That torpedo might not have been a dud, but it skirts right on past us. Man, you look at the damage model on Beust there. She's taking a bunch of hits. Now 19 is the structure, 23% is the buoyancy. Now I want to look at the damage model on the Admiral Nakhimov. This side is clean. If you look at it from this side, it's fine. This side is not. This rear turret, this last rear turret here, that is still firing for their main armament. The front one over here is slightly damaged but cannot aim. This one cannot aim. The secondary guns are about out of ammunition. So it's 18 and 17. 18% structural integrity, 16% buoyancy. The buoyancy is what's going to sink the Admiral Nakhimov. If we look over here, 73% is the buoyancy now on the Von Beust. 62% structural integrity, however, as we see more flooding now on the rudder and the fire. Rudder damage, fire, and flooding. It's 16% structural integrity, 12% for buoyancy now, and now it's 11. And that's going to get taken down from there as these bottom compartments continue to flood. All of the compartments are flooding now. So it's now 9%, 8%, and that's what's going to do it. So let's just take a look here. Some cinematic shots of the, final minutes of the Admiral Nakhimov's life. Let's get the main guns firing there. See it rain down hellfire onto the Admiral Nakhimov. You see a hit right there. Stay here for a little bit and watch the Admiral Nakhimov, which took it to the HMS Butterworth, start to slip beneath the waves, and the Von Beust, the play-in ship, the Cinderella Story, will be the first ship in to the championship round. Let's check. Let's just get out of the cinematic shots here. And nope, she sinks. So the Admiral Nakhimov is sunk. And the Von Beust, while taking some, pretty good damage, survives and moves on. Let's look at the ship stats over here. Admiral Nakhimov took 44,000 damage. Meanwhile, the Von Beust only took 11,000 damage. Admiral Nakhimov received 8 floodings, while the Von Beust did receive 3. The Von Beust, however, was lit on fire 131 times compared to 31 on the Admiral Nakhimov. Dang. The main guns on the Admiral Nakhimov were more accurate, as were the secondary guns, and the torpedo accuracy. We did get hit, but it was a dud. There's no damage from the torpedoes. And yeah, so interesting to say the least. So we're gonna go to the tournament now. We're gonna say winner, Von Beust. Von Beust is in the final round now. The final fight will be recorded on Friday. This fight between Dr. G's ships, the Japanese ship Obojito and the Italian ship Della Francesca, will be the second set into the final. So this will ensure that 2 different teachers will be in fight. So my final ship does indeed go down. So I am officially eliminated from the tournament. It is now Mr. Wong, and Dr. G, of course, has to eliminate one of her own ships, but that is the consequences of the random seeding of the tournament. So, this will be tomorrow to see who will fight the Austria-Hungarians, the Von Beust. So, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Japanese Obojito facing on the Italian Della Francesca. Thanks so much. Have a good day.